is that from? Is that from Black Swan?
I think maybe.
Say the line so they know.
I just want to be perfect.
What is that from? What's that from? Let us know.
Let us know, guys.
Hey, house.
Hi, hoes.
Howdy, house.
Happy Friday.
¿Cómo están, mijos? ¿Cómo estás, mija?
I'm okay, you know.
We're PMSing. Let's be honest. We're in the same wolf man cycle.
Yes,
So,
and the moon cycle.
yeah.
We just had a full moon a few days ago.
Yeah, we did full moon in Leo.
Yes.
For my fellow Leos out there, if you believe in astrology. But you know what? If you believe in other religions, you can believe in astrology. Salud.
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 Chills.
Salud, mijos. Thanks for joining the Happy Horror Hour.
The Ho Hour.
I got my merch.
Look at that. Buy it all. Consume it all.
That's right. Consume.
Consume.
Sexy Andrew's asking, can Dorina adopt April? What do you mean? First of all, I don't want kids.
Can you?
I do not want children.
I'm a cat, first of all. I'm a feline.
I
so-
would adopt a cat. So maybe that does work.
Yeah, I think it'll work.
As long as you were mute like a cat.
I'm pretty quiet.
What
I
do you
can
mean?
be. Yeah,
What do you mean?
I am.
I love that your voice went. This Aries fiery woman, I can be quiet. What you talking about?
I am, Willis.
What you talking about, Willis?
Especially if I'm working. If I'm working, I'm pretty zoned in.
Oh, that's true.
So I feel like we would just be like working on stuff.
That's your Pisces moon.
That is my Pisces moon.
But
we're
you
here.
meditate. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, happy Friday, y'all. Things are so happy in the world.
So great.
Of course.
Waking up today, every day is just
Yeah.
so wonderful.
Yeah. But we haven't been here in a couple of weeks. Last week we did not have a stream because we were trying to be in solidarity with our fellow humans and everybody doing the, kind of hopefully what will be practice for the general strike. And we'll get more and more strikes as time goes on,
Yes.
hopefully, because, YouTube makes money off of us, even though we don't make money off of YouTube. It should be the other way around. But we're happy you're here. We're happy to be back. And we're going to talk horror comedies. We didn't get to talk about Send Help, which came out last weekend. And we got to see a little bit early. So we'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about our favorite horror comedies. And then I want to talk a little bit of the tea because Kristen Stewart bought a theater in Los Angeles.
We're so happy about this.
Yeah, we want to talk about that, and then how people like Sydney Sweeney say they're not political even though they're artists, or they claim to be artists. So we also want to talk a little bit about the gossip and the tea because it's important because horror and art are inherently political.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Film and music are probably the strongest art form of how to relay a message to the masses, right?
Correcto.
So
Correcto. Exactly.
super important. Horror movies are a catalyst in that. And we'll talk about some of that. All those films that have been part of that.
That's right. I love that we didn't actually
We never do.
talk about matching, and yet we are. And Sam says, y'all often dress in theme, which I love, but I do find it surprising you both do as well. I think I know what you mean, to be honest. We literally did not prepare. So I was just like, oh, they live is the theme. John Carpenter's always the theme of the show, is the thing.
Is.
We are Carpenter hosts. So
We love them.
thanks for being here, Jimmy, Alan, Mike, Brennan, Aníbal, Brittany, Arturo, Sam, Sexy Andrew, Seattle Kyo. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out.
We're going to be here for a little bit. Remember, we're kind of doing like 30-minute streams every Friday, most Fridays. So if you want to send any support, questions, comments, concerns, complaints, we're at streamlabs.com and Venmo at Horror Hos. And we do have some Venmos we didn't read last time, so we'll do that. So, so thanks for y'all's support.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah. So, April, you want to tell them about Send Help since you loved it so much?
Send Help. Now, Send Help was, people are calling it the return of Sam Raimi, Return to Horror. Have you guys seen it? I thought it was a really fun movie, okay? I did feel like in the middle of the film, it got a little redundant. And I understand that there's two characters that are just stuck on an island, but there were shots that were redundant and then just a back and forth banter that became kind of just a little too slow. And I feel like in some parts it does develop the characters and their relationship, even though you know one of them is a huge asshole and the other one is kind of the underdog.
Right.
Um, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin anything, but it was okay. It's definitely watchable. It's fun. It's funny. I think our main issue is the CG issue, where there's just a lot of CGI in it. And we all know that Raimi was an old school, hey, let's make this on our own and make our own blood. And it was a mixture of both, but I think there was just more CGI than not.
Yeah.
And that kind of made me bummed out. And overall, it had some moments of Raimi shots. And I know that all his movies can't be Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, obviously. We love
Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell is an amazing film. But yeah, it was okay. In my book, it was okay. It was a C. It's fine. It's watchable. It's better than most stuff out there.
Yeah.
And it is a fun ride. It is fun to go and see it, but it didn't make me want to go back and see it right away.
Right.
I'll watch it again in like maybe a year or two.
Yeah. I am in agreement with you. I think that it's, as you said, a fun ride, but I believe it's like 2 hours long, and it could have been an hour and a half. Unless, the writers of Freddy versus Jason, which wrote this movie, develop, the premise a little bit more, because the premise is great. And it, if you guys haven't seen this movie called Triangle of Sadness, it's similar premise, right, of a class system within this yacht with rich people and the people that work, the working class that works the staff of the boat. And then eventually there's, they end up on an island, and I feel like that movie developed that particular topic a lot more for my taste, and I don't expect, a Sam Raimi movie to be super philosophical, but because it went long, I was hoping for that a little bit more. Having said that, the performances were great. Like Dylan and Rachel were amazing in it. I was very entertained just watching them, and yeah, I mean, I'm not against CG. I just wish it was, when it's being used, because it's good that we have that technology. I just wish there was more mesh of that with practical effects versus it looking like you're kind of playing a video game. So I like real looking blood. Kind of Terrifier.
I want real blood all the time.
Like actual human blood.
Yeah, human blood. Mostly from the people that run this country.
Correct.
That's
what
kind
we
of
want.
blood that we want.
Sam Raimi for your next movie.
Yep, let's do it.
That's what we require. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Yep.
Hire us for Terrifier 4, Damien Leone. Anyways, so that's our little review. Did you watch Send Help? What do you think? Did you like it? We do love Sam Raimi, and we got to, when we saw the movie at, thanks to the American Cinematheque and Beyond Fest, he was there for a Q&A, and he was fucking hilarious.
He's a comedian. He came out there, he definitely dad joke after dad joke, but it was so good. He's amazing. He was so humbling and just warm and funny, obviously. Yeah, it was great. It was great to see him. That was the first time I saw him in person. So such an honor to have that here in Los Angeles. We have so many screenings like that where, we get to see directors, actors, creators just come out and speak. So yeah,
we are spoiled here for sure. Shout out to Ken Knapsack in the chat, who says, question, first time, long time. Is there a horror movie you can recommend for someone that has been known to pee his sleeping bag when a werewolf show up in a movie to terrorize a small town?
Ken, I'm going to change that for you, okay?
I mean, didn't he say he saw the orphanage?
Not for you, for Franny.
Of course, for Franny. Everything's for Franny. But Ken, I thought you said you saw the orphanage, which I feel like that's not a starter movie. That's a fucked up movie. I love that movie.
I don't know if he's seen Nightmare on Elm Street. I think that's a good franchise. The first one's a little scary. The second one is totally silly. The third one's fantastic. And then 4 and 5 are really fun.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then 6 is really good as well. So Ken, get ready. Buckle up. You're going to see all 6, right? 6 Nightmare on Elm Streets?
I thought 6 was New Nightmare, so then 7 would be when he dies. No? I don't know.
No, sorry. There is 7. Jesus. Well, we forget about that one because we don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it's bad.
It's not that good.
Sorry, Breckenmeyer.
I does.
The Power Glove was cool.
Ken says, I did watch The Orphanage and I can no longer go into orphanages. There you go.
How many orphanages are you going into?
Yeah.
It's just like, there's orphanage. We gotta stop.
Weird.
We gotta go stop and see them. It's like a
really weird.
It's like a pound.
Yeah.
That's awful. Stop it.
Anyways, we also, because Send Help is kind of like a horror comedy and Sam Raimi is the, king of really good horror comedies. We also want to talk about a little bit of our favorites, which will lead into the political talk, since most horror comedies, in my opinion, always have political elements and talk about society and how we exist. And, we live in a society. So obviously Evil Dead, all of them. But my favorite is Evil Dead 2 out of the 3. Is your favorite Army of Darkness?
Army of Darkness is fantastic because it has that stop motion scene with the skeletons.
Yeah, like the
and
Ray
I love
Harryhausen.
Stop motion. Yeah, so
I mean, it's basically it's a Ray Harryhausen situation. No?
Yes, yeah. So I mean, I love Evil Dead 2 as well, but Army of Darkness. Actually, those are good for you, Ken.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think Ken would love Bruce Campbell.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah. He is the funniest, hottest man. So, but yeah, Army of Darkness is a little bit more comedic, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
Even though Evil Dead 2 is plenty silly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evil Dead 2 gets super silly, and Army of Darkness just continues that.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead 2 is kind of it's a remake of Evil Dead. Not a remake.
Right. Well, people debate it.
Yes, yeah, we've talked about this. I think it's a retelling.
Some people call it a sequel, and some people call it a remake of the first one.
Yes, yeah. What do you guys think?
To me, it's got kind of a remake. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, I agree.
That is what that is. So we love Evil Dead. What's another horror comedy that you love?
What's the one where she falls asleep or her birthday is over and over? Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
Is a really fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's good too, but I really enjoy that first one. I forget who the gal is that's in it, but she's great.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't watched that, that's a movie where it's this girl's birthday and it's a Groundhog Day movie basically. So she just keeps reliving it, and it's super fun. And that's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned a modern one because that's for sure. I even like the sequel as well.
Yeah.
So that's like a good franchise to get into if you want to get into modern horror. Ken, I also think you would enjoy that if you're still watching. I think you would because it's not scary. It's just funny. And I mean, some people get scared at, jump scares.
Right.
But we don't because we're dead inside.
Yes.
So, all right. So the Evil Dead trilogy, sorry to the new ones, but they're not really horror comedies. Happy Death Day. I also want to give a shout out to one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is Fright Night. Welcome to Fright Night. It's not just that Chris Sarandon is super hot as the, apple eating, turtleneck sweater wearing vampire.
Yeah, he is
so
fantastic looking in that.
But it's such a fun movie. And speaking of awesome, practical effects, it's one of my favorite all-time movies. The first time I saw it, I was like, what is this? And I also enjoy the remake. I've said this before. It's one of the better remakes that's pretty different than the first one. The music is fucking awesome, not just the score, but the actual songs. So I just think it's one of the most fun movies to watch if you've never seen it.
I think it's okay.
April
it's not one of my
okay.
favorites. It's hard for me to get into vampire movies because they are a little bit slower in pacing, and I'm impatient. I'm an Aries. I'm impatient.
Yeah.
But his friend in the movie, I forget what his name is.
Yeah.
Scares the shit out of me. That actor is so creepy looking. No offense to that actor.
Well, he's also bulky and could totally kick your ass.
The little no.
Oh, you're talking about you're talking about God. What the fuck is chat? Hey, chat, help me. What is his nickname? It's something so stupid.
He's scary. He's the scariest.
Come on, little guy in Fright Night that's creepy as fuck. Looks like a little gremlin.
Yes, he looks like a little gremlin, but I love gremlins.
What is his name?
I don't know.
And he's always yelling his name at him.
I don't know. But
I'm old now and I forget, but you're totally right.
Another one that we talked about, obviously Shaun of the Dead, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, is a fantastic horror comedy that if you have not watched it, it's a zombie movie, pays homage to a lot of George Romero stuff because Edgar Wright is a huge fan, and it has comedy, drama. What else does it have in there? It's fantastic. So that's another one.
Yeah.
We talked about it already.
So they call him evil in the movie, by the way.
Oh, Evil. That's
Yes.
right. How could I forget that?
Because we're old.
Jeez,
Because
that's
we're
right.
old. Evil Ed. Thank you, Alan.
Ooh, ooh,
Alan's
ooh.
got it. All right. Sorry. Continue.
Wait, someone just mentioned, and you just reminded me, Night of the Creeps, Seattle KO. Who is that?
Mm-hmm.
Night of the Creeps is one of my favorite movies and made me scared of silverfish, which are these little tiny bugs that like live and eat paper behind. You can find them in like frames and stuff, and they're just little silver guys that run around. They have these antennas in the front and the back, and they're tiny. Okay, silverfish are tiny, but in Night of the Creeps, they're the way these infected the way you become a zombie is like these little worms
Uh-huh.
that are more like slugs, that are like fast slugs. And there's a bathroom scene in that movie that scared the shit out of me when I was little. I don't know why I correlate them with silverfish, which are really tiny and silver. I think it's because they're fast. But anyways,
So
sidetracked a little bit.
It gave you the creeps.
It
though.
gave me the creeps. But
Night
that
of the
movie's great.
Night of the Creeps gave you the creeps. Speaking of gross things,
I have
we talked about The Ugly Stepsister a couple weeks ago because of Oscar nominations, and April's got a really interesting tapeworm.
I have a tapeworm story. Should I tell you guys now?
I think you should before we forget.
Okay.
And then we'll
because
keep
we
going
forgot
horror
last
comedies.
week.
Yeah.
I have a friend. He's been a friend for a long time. And this happened in the 2000s. And he was notorious. He lived, with a couple of dudes in an apartment. And he was notorious for, like, when they would get home drunk, he would just make food very quickly. And so he would eat, like, almost raw hamburger meat. Like, he would cook it, but he would just kind of sear it and then eat it. So one night he goes out drinking. And
Don't do that, kids.
Don't do that, okay? Especially hamburger meat. You got to cook that shit. So he goes out drinking, and he goes out hard, like a lot of whiskey, just destroys himself. Next day, he goes to the bathroom, number 2, and he feels something dangling. And he's like, oh, okay. It's like trying to like get it off, thinking it's poo. And it's not coming. And he's like, okay. So he takes some toilet paper, and he starts wiping, and he feels that it's like a string. So he starts pulling on it, and he's like, oh my God, I am deboweling myself at the moment. And he just keeps pulling. Finally, it ends. He looks at it. It was a fucking tapeworm. So he got a tapeworm and he killed it because he drank so much that the tapeworm was like, I'm out of here. I can't do this. And then he pulled it out, and he might have saved it for a little bit and had it in his freezer. So whenever anyone would come over, he would bring it up and be like, do you want to see my tapeworm? My friend is a rascal, and this is him.
But
always.
honestly,
he's still funny and ridiculous like this.
if you live through that, though, I'm keeping the tapeworm in a glass too.
Of course,
because that's horrifying. Yeah, what would you name it?
Bill. I don't know why.
Bill the tapeworm. It is. I mean, when April told me this, I was like, no way, because I never heard that happen. And when I saw The Ugly Stepsister, I told you guys it's the first time in years that a movie had made me gag during that scene. There's no like ass situation, but there's a mouth gagging situation. And I didn't even know it was like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens to people.
I sent my friend a text, that friend, and I said, there's a movie and this happens, and he goes, I want residuals.
Wow.
Which I thought was
so he didn't
really
want to watch
funny.
it, or he
no, he was just making a joke. I thought it was funny. I want residuals.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. That's the story. You're all welcome. You're all
and it is
welcome.
a real true story. I saw the tapeworm with my own eyes.
My God. All right. So back to horror comedies. Really quickly, I want to mention Cabin in the Woods, Jennifer's Body. We already talked zombie movies a couple weeks ago, but Shaun of the Dead, obviously. Modern Wise Ready or Not is one of something that when I first saw it, I really resonated with. We're going to talk about Eat the Rich in a little bit. Any other ones you want to mention?
Ready or Not, sequel coming out.
That's right.
The weekend of my birthday.
Oh, that's right. Aries bitch.
Which we're going to go watch it, but I don't know if it's going to be as good as the first one. We'll see, though. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Samara and the other gal that was in Freaky.
Yes, she's great too. All right, I really want to, before we move on to the next topic, before we get out of here, I want to mention, Sexy Andrew mentioned Ghostbusters. There's Evil Dead Love. Alan mentioned Lost Boys. Dead Alive, Frighteners, and Ghostbusters. Great movie. Um, what else am I missing in the chat? Sam Raimi talk. Seattle KO mentioned Darkman, but maybe you're just mentioning it because of Sam Raimi, not really horror comedies.
But I love Darkman.
We do.
See the Dancing Freak.
That's right.
Only $5.
That's right.
My sister and I used to always sing that. I love that movie.
Calm Down Rich is Tucker and Dale.
Tucker and Dale. That's a great one, too.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are giving us all the good ones.
Really
Idle
good.
Hands.
Yeah. Really good stuff,
That's
y'all.
fun. Devin Sawa in that.
Y'all have excellent taste. Brittany says Scream. So that's actually counts, Brittany. Is usually, I feel like people put Scream and like Nightmare on Elm Street on the slasher genre, but Scream is technically a horror comedy.
Totally.
And the original is great.
Yes,
I
we
hope
love the original.
new one does really badly because fuck Spyglass, but all due respect to the creators and actors, of course. Seattle Kia, what we do in the shadows. Yep. You guys got great taste.
Hell yeah.
Happy you're here because of that. All right. So speaking of horror comedies, we're both wearing They Live shirts, and you guys know last year we got to go see John Carpenter and in concert, which it was April's first time, and I think you noticed, right, that as soon as he started playing this song with the band, they put up the famous billboard in the background, the imagery of saying of obey and consume, and the entire crowd lost their fucking minds. Why do you think the crowd lost their fucking minds at that scene, April?
Why?
Yeah.
Because that is what we've created in the society that we're living in, and we have been living in. But I think we're in hard times right now, obviously, right? With everything that's going on and who's in power. And I think people are finally starting to put the glasses on where they are like, holy shit, we are consumers. These people are controlling us. We got to fucking wake up. We got to get more people with the goddamn sunglasses on.
That's right.
So I think obviously this goes hand in hand. We love John Carpenter because he's a horror filmmaker. He's an amazing composer. And he gave us this film that made a lot of us wake up. We watched it and we're like, oh shit, yeah. And so we are awake, right? Like we're awake, and now more and more people are seeing it. And we will always, horror movie fans are diehard also. So the more that this gets put out there is like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wake up.
It was not subtle, right? There's a lot of younger folks that are friends of mine that didn't grow up with these movies, right? Because they were not even alive in the 80s like we were.
Yeah.
Viejitas.
It's okay.
Yeah. But so they hadn't seen it. And when, they saw it, every person that sees it after my recommendation, they'll text me and they're like, that was fucking awesome, because you can't help but like, other than the fact that it's fucking funny and that, 5-minute famous scene between Roddy and Keith David, classic movie, forever a favorite. But it was not subtle at all. Like literally about how capitalism and consumerism are tools of control by this, alien elite, right? And right now we're finding out that this human elite not only is a bunch of pedophiles, but they're all on the same team, right? George Carlin obviously used to say, it's a big group and you and I are not in it. We ain't in it, right? And it's not about partisan politics, like right or left, or it's just about assholes in power with too much money and too much power, and they're so unhappy that they keep hoarding resources and creating monopolies and fucking up the rest of our lives. Not just the fact that we literally, it's really hard to buy groceries and just live and not have to have like 2 or 3 jobs to pay the bills and be able to pay your rent. But on top of that, it's fucking up our art too, right? Like now you have these big people, big CEOs like Ted Sarandos from Netflix, who's, basically trying to destroy the theatrical experience, right? And focus on streaming. You have, not to mention the Ellisons, who are trying to control everything and basically censor art because they want entertainment and they want to keep the masses numb. So there's all these things happening. And then you have people like, Sydney Sweeney come in and be like, I'm not political. And I'm like, dude, first of all, you're an artist. You're making political movies. Immaculate is a movie that is inherently political, right? Let alone the fact that I think she started out in The Handmaid's Tale. I think that's where she got famous from. So, and then you have people like, Kristen Stewart. I don't know if you guys heard, but she just bought the Highland Theater in Los Angeles. And I think that's fucking cool.
Yeah, they did a whole piece. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
please continue.
On Architectural Digest,
Yeah.
did a whole piece on this. They did a photo shoot, but they also filmed this beautiful video where they interview her, and she talks about why she purchased it and the fact that, you know, we live in this space where we have to, you know, we have to work together to grow, basically. And art is super important to that. And she was like, I want to be part of that. I want to be able to help people of this community, and hopefully that awakens everyone else as well. And I love that she's doing that, because more people in power like that, or that have money, should be doing that.
Correct.
You know, like Billie Eilish speaking out, and just that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's starting to snowball a bit with that.
Yes.
In a good way. Snowball in a good way.
Because it's gotten so bad that you can't have a platform, and you can't be an artist without speaking the truth. The point of the artist is to speak the truth about how we're existing in society, right? And so it's funny, you know, people like Sydney Sweeney say I'm not political, but inherently their actions are political. She is dating a huge Zionist. She is literally, you know, she's going to Jeff Bezos' wedding, right? I think he funded her freaking underwear line or something. I don't even know.
Right.
Her lingerie line.
Yeah.
So those are political acts, right? If you want to claim that you're neutral, you're not. Okay. And then you have Kristen Stewart, who's saying, like, making films is a political act. She's so right. I want to read her quote. She said that buying this theater, she said, I see it as an antidote to all the corporate bullshit, a place that takes movie culture away from just buying and selling, which is a huge fuck you to Ted Sarandos from Netflix. So I think that's beautiful. I think that the whole point of going to the theater is you have this communal experience, and you're sharing in, you know, this art form that I've always said that art is the best form of education, right? And the reason for that is, if we're talking horror, right, you don't just have examples like They Live. You have things like going all the way back to George Romero and Night of the Living Dead, right? He casted a black man as the capable hero, right? That was in 1968.
Yep.
That was super revolutionary, right? You have Candyman, of course, right? From the 90s, Tony Todd. You have Universal Monsters that, you know, have always been kind of like an outsider immigrant allegory, right? Like, there's so many examples. So to claim that horror in itself and art should not be political, it just means I don't want to be challenged.
Right.
I don't want to see the truth.
Yes.
That's what that means.
And exactly. And I hope that more people catch on to this, because I feel like people avoid horror. I feel like horror has always been kind of a little bit of like the bastard child. People don't want to, oh, I don't watch horror, it scares me too much. Well, real life is fucking scary, and that's what it's mirroring.
Yeah.
And but these messages are not just like, we obviously have our slasher movies, but we also have these movies that are very deep in the message of what they're, you know, in the art and the message of what they're trying to relay out into the world.
Yeah.
And a huge one that just, you know, people are starting to talk about now, and it is a horror because it is kind of what we're living in, is Eyes Wide Shut, which was by Stanley Kubrick.
Right.
And that's coming up, you know, if you guys have been paying attention to the news, and if you've seen the movie and what's going on right now, it's very relevant. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. That is such a good point.
Ooh.
One of a movie that was kind of trash too when it came out, and a lot of us, you know, it kind of became a cult classic because a lot of us love it and watch it during Christmas time. But that's a really good point. You know, what was Kubrick saying?
Yeah.
And why was the movie so heavily edited? There's even like a whole conspiracy, like people talking about like he died, you know, right during post-production. You know, like, how did he die? Or, you know, was he killed? There's a whole thing, you know.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure I know there's people here that, you know, they also believe in Kurt Cobain conspiracies, so I don't fucking know.
Right.
But yeah, no, man, it is pretty crazy. But the whole point is, you know, you can't separate, like you can't say I'm not political if you're an artist. Like, you are able to say that, but you're incorrect, and you know you're bullshitting. And it's just because you don't want to lose consumers and fans for standing up for what's right. And horror filmmakers they've always known this. And they've always, like, that's the best type of horror, makes you uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because it's showing you reality.
Yep.
It's not just entertainment. Yes, of course, I fucking love laughing, but a lot of the time we're laughing it's because there's a moment of tension of something you just saw that's fucked up about real life, right?
Exactly.
And then you release that, right? Because laughter is the best medicine. So that's the rant on that.
So let's continue to make horror movies, guys.
Yeah.
Let's make art. Continue to make art.
Yeah.
Speak your truth.
Yeah.
Be good to each other.
That's
all that goodness.
right.
We are going to rise up.
That's right. That's right. All right. So we have been here for 30 minutes. So we're getting out of here soon, unless there's some questions, comments, concerns. What do you think? Do you agree with us? I see Brittany saying horror is my safe space because the real world is so fucked. What does that tell you? But that's the reason I think, Brittany, is because you know the real world is fucked up, and horror is such a cathartic genre because it is not lying about the real world. The real world. It's escapist in a way that you don't have to watch the news, right? Because the news is so horrifying, so horror can become less horrifying that way.
Yes.
But it's not escaping the actual things we're dealing with, like as humans in society. So
yeah,
for sure. I know you had was it Eric that Venmo'd us, was very nice about it.
Yeah, the last time that we were here. Yes, last time we were here, guys, we got a Venmo and we forgot to read it, and now I have to find it.
And then I'm going to check the Streamlabs before we get out of here, streamlabs.com/Horror Hos. And we are leaving after that. Thanks for being here, y'all. We got Alan. Thank you, Alan. Did you find it or not yet?
Almost.
All right, I'll let you find it.
Eric Hidalgo, I believe, right? Yes, sorry, I have it. Thank you for another Horror Hose episode before the freezing weekend. My most anticipated horror films are Resident Evil and Terrifier 4.
Hell yeah.
Eric, I am so excited for Terrifier 4. I just saw something that someone put. It was a page that I wasn't familiar with, but it said Terrifier 4 slated for October 2026. I don't know where they got that from, but it looked legit. So I didn't get to do research. And Resident Evil is also really fun. I love Mila, and that scene where she was going through that, or I don't know if it was her, through that laser room.
They all blur, so I only remember the first one. I was like, that might have happened in the first one.
Yeah, I think it was the first one.
Oh,
There's a laser hallway, but it's like clear glass.
Yeah.
And
it was her.
Splicing.
Yeah.
Someone gets spliced.
Yeah, and it's awesome.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited to see what Mr. Kreger does with it, for sure.
So thank you, Eric, for the Venmo and for letting us know what your favorites were.
Thank you, Eric. We also got Alan. Alan, thank you for your Streamlabs. He says, Hola, horror hosts. Have you seen Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, also known as Brain Dead? Amazing horror comedy with zombies, hilarious and really gross. There's a scene with people eating custard, which becomes really disgusting and awesome. Check it out.
Alan, I can't believe I forgot about that one. That is one of my favorite ones, and that scene was one of the movies that made me gag, for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good one to remind us of, Alan, for sure. If you, I would assume most people that are in the chat that are younger have not seen it, so go see Dead Alive.
Go watch it.
Put
it's
it on
so
your
fun.
list.
It's a good, fun zombie movie. It's gross.
Really
it's old
good.
school, practical effects.
I kind of miss Peter Jackson movies like that.
Yes,
because he also
did the Feebles.
He did like the Frighteners, right? And
he did the Frighteners and Meet the Feebles. If you guys
for sure, yeah. We also got Jimmy. You want to read this one?
Jimmy. I believe Kubrick was killed for making Eyes Wide Shut, and that Courtney Love killed Kurt. I feel very called out.
Oh, Jimmy. So there's like a group of people, including Frank, that are always about that conspiracy that Courtney killed Kurt. I do not believe that.
I don't think so either.
Whatsoever. But it is funny to me that people think that. However, the Kubrick thing, I'm a little bit more like,
the Kubrick thing, I believe. The Courtney one, I also never believed.
No.
As wacky as she is, I think she truly loved Kurt.
Yeah,
and
same.
I think she's a real one. Again, as wild as she is, I think she's actually a real stand-up. And she calls out people, and she called out people before we found out shit. She was,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she was, and that's what she was always shat on, kind of like a Yoko Ono situation, with the Beatles. Like, she was always treated really poorly. And she was always herself. She always spoke the truth, and she spoke against the bullshit of celebrity culture.
Absolutely.
And I always respected that.
And what's funny is she actually called out Gwen Stefani one time. Like, this was back in the day. To her face, I think, or like in an interview like right after. And I remember at the time I loved No Doubt and Gwen. And I was like, oh, what? Why did she do that? I always loved Hole and Courtney. So I was just like, whatever. But now looking back on it, I'm like, oh, shit. She fucking saw right through that bitch.
She did. She did. That's right. But yeah, with Kubrick, I don't know, man. Like, fucking, people obviously say, rightfully so, that Epstein was killed and didn't kill himself, right? I'm sure anybody, just even talking about the victims of this awful pedophile ring, right? That is in power, right? And has been for a long time. I'm sure they if they killed a bunch of those people, why wouldn't they kill anybody that's speaking about what's going on?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's what happened, but I believe that it could if somebody gave me evidence.
And I think they did do some sort of editing on Eyes Wide Shut. There was a clip that Roger Avery on one of the podcasts that he did with Quentin Tarantino was talking about this. This was a while back, and he said how Kubrick went opening day when Eyes Wide Shut came open, and he was like yelling, and saying like, "Hey, how dare you? Like, this is my art. How dare you cut my movie or like edit it? Like, that's not the cut that I put out."
Right.
So yeah, I do believe that,
and
I lean towards the fact that that could very much be the case.
And they also, the whole point is that they, as far as I understand, they specifically edited out the scenes that were more obvious about this pedophile ring.
Right, exactly.
Because, at the end, you see the little girl being taken by the dudes.
Yes.
In the background where Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise are talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she holds up the Barbie that was like Jean Benet Ramsey, which was also part of this whole thing that has just come out. It had like the pink Barbie PJs.
Oh,
and
word.
So I think it was PJs.
Right.
And then the little girl holds up right before she gets taken or gets walked off by those two guys in the background. She holds up this little toy Barbie. And so it's all, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy too.
It is unreal what we're living in right now, guys. But
so man, what if Kubrick was telling the truth and then that happened, man? And from what I remember of that particular interview or podcast that you were talking about, is that Tarantino was kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, and I'm like, he knows.
He's chuckling in it.
I'm like, he fucking knows.
Yeah, I think it's the Video Archives. It's one of the Video Archives podcasts. So if you guys want to watch that, I think. I'll double check on that. Mike Joy says Courtney Love did kill Kurt Cobain. The truth will come out sooner or later. I mean, look at us now. The truth will come out sooner or later. We will find out.
Ay. All right, streamlabs.com/horror hos. Thanks for donating. Brennan, who says, here's some money. Why? No reason other than the fact that you are two gorgeous Latina goth ladies. Much love.
Brennan, thank you so much.
That's very sweet, Brennan.
Giving us this amazing compliment and for the bucks.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
We will, I think, be back next week. It will be actually officially Friday the 13th.
Oof, we are excited.
Yeah.
We always love a Friday the 13th.
We do. It's got good vibes. Hopefully we see some black cats. You have a black cat at your home, though.
Black cats, yes. I have one black cat, and she is amazing.
I wish you could bring her.
I know. I wish I could, too.
So we will be back. And in the meantime, we are, always posting stupid shit on the socials. And you can follow April. Where can the people stalk you?
You can stalk me at Instagram at DRHQ.
Dr. Harley Quinn.
Dr. Harley Quinn.
That's where she is at. And she's always posting her little aft ratings, her April fucking Toledo ratings for whatever movie she watches. So that's always fun. And then if you're here, you already follow me. But if you don't have access to my Discord community, that's because you're not on my Patreon. And you should be. We're having a lot of fun over there. Patreon.com/DJ Bruja. I'm also on Mixcloud every Tuesday doing some fun music shows, radio shows, DJ sets. Last week, what the fuck did I do this week? I don't even remember what I did. Remind me, chat, because everything blurs together. The week before I did a house set, and then this particular week I did volume 2 of Rock en Español, Rock in Spanish. And next week I'm gonna do love songs.
Oh,
for fun, because there's a lot of love music out there that is not Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On."
Exactly.
So, anyways, y'all are great.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you to Sam, Jamie, Aníbal, Brennan, Alan, Eric, Brittany, Mike, everybody that was able to join. And remember that they live, we sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Adios, host.
Bye, guys.
Oh, look at the balloon.